Oh, just wham that Wish Farm. Don't over budget for your true expenses. After you reconcile the monthly rollover, of course, you YNAB broke Banksy fan you. Be right back. Gotta go fresh start the budget before I forecast away my whole age of money. You know what I mean? If you started using YNAB and immediately thought to yourself, what? Wait, what does that mean? Wait, what are these words? Well, that's because YNAB definitely has its own language, and if you're new here, none of these words mean anything to you, but all these other YNABers seem to be throwing them around like parade candy. Today, you're gonna learn just enough to go from feeling like the new kid in school to a kid that's been there for like a few semesters. Like a second semester junior. Before we scoot on into this little underrated vocabulary lesson, here's a quick overview of the words we'll be covering. For those of you who have been around for a while, skip over the ones you already know and hop straight to the ones you want. You'll find the progress bar of this video timestamped below with easy access to each word, because we love you. And no one wants to aimlessly click around a video until they find what they're looking for. So let's hop right into some important YNAB need-to-knows. First up, true expenses sound fancy, but they're actually just the catchy YNAB version of sinking funds. Same thing. An expense classifies as a true expense if it's one of those larger, less frequent expenses that don't happen routinely every month and usually don't cost a fixed or predictable amount. Home improvement costs, vet expenses, car repairs, holiday gifts. We call them true expenses because they are expenses and, well, they truly happen at some point. We build up funds for these true expenses year-round by setting aside a fixed amount of money every month to help us prepare for whenever those unexpected non-monthly expenses finally hit. Used in a sentence, good thing we built up our vet fund. I knew a true expense like these x-rays would hit sooner or later. Toby's been too well behaved lately. Good old Toby. Ain't that the truth? Next, your age of money, or AOM, is found in the upper right corner of your budget and tells you how much time has passed from the day you enter a dollar into your budget to the day you spend that same dollar out of your budget. If the age of my money is 17 days, my budget is telling me that at the current rate I'm spending my money, the dollars I would spend today would be the same dollars I earned and entered 17 days ago. Does that make sense? The age of your money will grow if you're saving and spending below your means. The age of your money will drop if your spending increases beyond your means or you take out a large sum of money for a big purchase or expense. And used in a sentence, where's the sentence? I noticed that the age of my money began to grow once I deactivated my Amazon Prime account. Well, yeah. Our next culprit, forecasting. Forecasting is making plans with future money before it arrives, while budgeting is making a plan with the dollars you already have. That's right, forecasting and budgeting, not synonymous. If you were to add next month's paycheck into your budget now and start assigning those dollars jobs, you are officially forecasting. And when I say officially, I mean officially. This can be a dangerous practice if that paycheck doesn't end up coming or you have an emergency pop up before that money arrives. Budgeting is a sure thing, while forecasting can be slightly playing with fire. Used in a sentence, in my forecasting days of yonder, I would make plans for my tax return before it even came, which really took me by surprise when I never even got one. Ouch. Lucky number 4, the fresh start. This word is not just a state of mind. A fresh start is an action you can perform on your budget found in the main menu of your YNAB account. When you're overwhelmed by your budget or want to start afresh, performing a fresh start will safely archive your current budget with all your current transactions. Don't worry, you can go back to it whenever you want, and it'll set you up with a fresh, transaction-free, activity-free new budget. But don't panic, you're not starting from absolute scratch. Your new freshly started budget will still contain your accounts, as well as any scheduled transactions you've built into your budget, and all of your categories, goals, payees, and notes. Now you can feel free to reallocate all of your dollars however you like. Your age of money will reset to 0, and the reports tab of your budget will be ready to start over with all your new future data. But don't worry, you can always go back to your old budget to access that old data. It's not gone forever. And used in a sentence, now that the triplets are here, I think it might be time to fresh start our budget and see what our new spending trends turn out to be. Yeah, I think you should. Okay. And reconciliation. To reconcile is to compare the balance in transaction history of your bank account to the balance in transaction history of your YNAB budget to ensure that they are the same. We want them to match because we only want to be budgeting with dollars we actually, really, truly, for real skis have sitting in the bank right now. If your bank account numbers and your budget numbers don't match, we can't trust our budget. And you always want to be able to trust your budget so we can use it to make the best possible spending decisions. We encourage you to reconcile as often as possible. I reconcile about once or twice a week. So let's look at this puppy in a sentence, shall we? I kept finding $20 extra in my budget, but when I reconciled my budget with my bank account, I realized I added my birthday check from Grandma twice. Oh, that's a big bummer. Next, overbudgeting. When you overbudget, you are assigning more dollars to your budget than you physically have in the bank. You'll know you've overbudgeted when your to be budgeted is red or in the negative. To prevent overbudgeting, only budget dollars in your to be budgeted category and don't enter future income or cash inflow before it enters your bank or your wallet. In a sentence, I overbudgeted this week when I thought next week's payday was yesterday. Wait, what? Next week's paycheck yesterday is today's tomorrow. Wait, what? Next up, fan favorite, YNAB broke. It sounds like a tragedy, but it's a misleadingly amazing feeling. To be YNAB broke means that the money in your available columns of your categories is low or close to zero, aka you've spent most or all of the money you budgeted for that category this month. However, you may still have plenty of money in the bank. So without even receiving and entering a new paycheck, it is entirely possible for one to be YNAB broke on January 31st and YNAB loaded on February 1st. Used in a sentence. This is more like a paragraph. I'd love to grab a shake with you, but after last week's road trip, I am YNAB broke in the eating out department. Want to come over for some tea instead? Maybe those little mini pickles? No? Hello? And up next, we have the Wish Farm. The moment someone seems to rapidly change the subject from budgeting to farming without so much as a blink can be pretty jolting, but they're actually still very much on topic. A wish farm is a special category group system you create in your budget to track and save for special one-time items you want to purchase. Create a category group titled Wish List, adding as many items to it as you want, each with its own category line. After you assign each item a small, medium, or large dollar value, create a separate Wish Farm category group and send your top 3 highest priority items to it, noting that your Wish Farm can only contain 1 small, 1 medium, and 1 large wish at a time. Trickle any extra money you can into one or all of your 3 Wish Farm items until they're fully funded. When it's time to repurpose that item, move the money to the appropriate category and repurpose the completed Wish Farm category to house a new wish list item. If you want to learn more about starting your own Wish Farm, I will link a helpful video down below. It's actually the first episode of Heard It From Hannah ever. And you can tell, she was so young back then. Let's use this puppy in a sentence. The refund I got for canceling my Zumba membership went straight into the Roomba category in my Wish Farm. It was a true Zumba to Roomba transformation. I wrote that. That is really beautiful. Next we have, I know that looks like a typo, but it's real. Believe it or not, WHAM actually stands for whack-a-mole, and we play this game in our budgets a lot. Budget whack-a-mole is when you need to borrow money from one budget category to cover expenses in another budget category. Rolling with the punches at its finest. Use it in a sentence. Sally Beth wasn't proud of it, but she whammed money from her vet fund category to her Double Dutch category. Because the world needs more Double Dutch, and Coco's doing just fine. Hey, well, good for Coco. And lastly, the monthly rollover. There's a lot I could say about the monthly rollover, but to get to the very basics, the monthly rollover is the transition your budget undergoes when one month ends and another begins. I'll give you just a simple overarching breakdown. First, any categories with positive dollar amounts left in the available column will roll those dollars into that same category's available column for the next month. Any dollars you budget in the future month will just add on top of these carried over dollars. 2, any categories with negative dollar amounts will set back to 0 in the next month, and that discrepancy will reflect in your to be budgeted number up top. You'll want to cover overspending in the current month before moving into the next. You'll also be able to find any overspending in the previous month right at the top of your budget. And 3, all of the amounts in your budgeted column for each category will reset to 0, and you'll be able to restock your budgeting categories as much or as little as you want. Using this word in a sentence. As Jimmy Jr. got a better grip on his money habits, he really looked forward to seeing his true expenses build as the month rolled over. That is a lovely sight. He's not wrong. And a little bonus vocab for you. What's a Banksy? Well, Banksy's not a what, he's a who. Banksy is YNAB's piggy bank mascot. How do you use Banksy in a sentence? Ever notice how Banksy doesn't contribute a single ounce of energy to the Heard It From Hannah videos? Yeah, well, you know, I've been meaning to bring this up. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. And now, it's time to venture out into the YNAB community and flaunt all of your newfound knowledge. Actually, you know what? Don't be that person. Don't be that person. Thanks for learning with me today. See you in the next video. So let's hop right on into some important YNAB need-to-knows. I feel so warm in my house, it's warm in this house. And 3, and 3, and 3, and she's crushing it. Oh, crap.